Hey everyone. Today with the Open Hearth, we are playing Lordsworn by Maren McAdam. I don't have a shiny book to hold up, I just have the PDF. Um, Shiny book.
Kind of book.
My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I'm facilitating the game, but it's a GMless game, so really it runs itself in theory. Um, but yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to seeing what a terrible tragedy we construct together. It's going to be a train wreck, based on previous experience. So yeah, we'll do intros as players because there's not too much else to do, and then we'll do our kind of backdrop and Lord Sworn creation. So on to you, T.
All right. I'm T, she, her, and I'm excited to shepherd some, I don't want to say lovely people, people that will exist, to very sticky ends.
And I'm Madeline Colley, Mads for short, they, them pronouns. And why is it every time that I'm on your channel, Donna, I always seem to be playing like more tragic, sad games?
Is that not your default?
I guess it is my default. It's like it seems to be my thing. Okay, all
So,
right. So
unless you're saying my games are even more tragic
I
than the average bear.
look now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, every time I end up on your channel, I'm like, oh, this is so sad. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, this was of interest, and yeah, I'm glad to be here and try this out. This game is new to me, so I'm always appreciative of when we drag out something that I'm not familiar with, regardless of how tragic it gets.
Okay. So we're going to start creating the backdrop, which is the gods and or home. Now, uh, the god represents the ideals our company strives towards, influencing most aspects of the Lordsworn's existence, from daily habits to how they view and approach the world. Additionally, our choice of god will provide information on the cataclysm and its aftermath, determine the god marks left upon your body, and will help define home. So there are two pantheons of four gods each. We could roll dice and make it completely random, or we could pick one that we like the vibes of. I don't know. I kind of like the randomness, but do you
Dice.
have any
It's
preferences?
dice, dice.
Dice, dice, dice.
Okay, so why doesn't someone roll? One of you roll 1d4, and that will determine the pantheon, and the other roll 1d4, and that will determine the god.
Okay,
I have
Uh,
rolled a one.
I have
so,
rolled a 3.
okay. So so I didn't, no one specified who was rolling in the Pantheon and who was rolling the God. So I'll just do them in the order which they were declared. But if we decide we want to cheat, we can definitely do that too. So the first die is a 1, which means we're in the Arate pantheon, and the second one was a 3, which means it's Mavos the Mighty, goddess of strength, warfare, wisdom, and fire. How does that sound?
I'm into it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So uh, when I pick Mavos the Mighty in the God and Home, uh, stuff happens. Um, So what we're going to do next is we're going to roll one die each, and we're going to basically decide where they should go, because in the next section we decide what our god's motive was going for war, how did our god's death affect the world, and what god mark blesses our Lord Sworn's body. So yeah, same again. Let's each roll. And these are not in any order. We get to see what the results are and rejig them how we want.
Still 1d4.
1d4, yeah. Okay, so we have two threes and a one. So if you're on the PDF, it's page 14, but maybe I'll just share. Maybe I'll just share. I will share my screen. So, um, so like I said, we have two threes and a one. So what are we thinking? Our god's motive for going to war could be when darkness creeps across the lands and shadowy thoughts fill the Pantheon, the sun must rise to dispel its grip and reassert the rightful ruler in the sky. No, I'm reading. Is this the wrong
Yeah, I
page?
was gonna say, I think this is the
Wrong
wrong god.
page. God damn it.
It's 18 for me.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. That's what happens when the PDF is not full height and it's, you just end up on a page. Okay. We can all read, apparently. Not me, but other people can read. So what do we think of these motives for going to war? What looks best? First among her peers to rise to any challenge, or decisiveness of the true mark of wisdom?
Hmm.
It's either might or decision making. um. hmm, hmm, hmm.
I like the discretion one because I think that opens up. I think the first one sounds a little bit more reckless, and I
Yeah.
think the outcome that we are dealing with, might have been more anticipated. So I think leaning more towards wisdom makes this. I don't know where I'm going with that sentence.
No, I like the
Gotcha.
idea that the motive is more well thought out. Yeah, because of the wisdom angle and discretion. So
Okay. So someone mark that in our motive. Pick three in the drop down, and this text should appear there.
3.
I guess now we know exactly what is at stake in terms of our death and the God mark. So, uh, the effect that God's death has in the world is either, the strong weaken, the powerful lose their grips on power, wicked and cruel forces make their moves against them. Might, as it has always been, makes right. Or, blind folly, lack of wisdom, all of that lovely stuff. And I guess whatever decision we make here directly tells us what die we have left for the God mark. So that is either, muscles, strength and hardness, strength finds you like never before, or tufts of feathers of the great horned owl sprout from your head. Prophetic visions visit you, cryptic and painful.
I am partial to a good vision.
yeah, I think that sounds good. So then basically that means that the strong find their limbs weakening, and once powerful rulers lose their grips on power. Might, as it has always been, makes right.
Yeah.
That's the
Mm.
effect of the god's death
Yeah.
on the world. So 1 and 3. Okay.
And as always in the Card Keeper, there's a space for the image of the god, the image of everything. But we probably need some time to ruminate over that. But if anyone has a good one, I guess this is really Athena, right? Or at least Athena coded.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we do the same thing for home. Um,
Okay. Roll some
so
die.
we're gonna each roll another d4.
Bloop. I rolled a 2.
I rolled the 3 again.
And I rolled a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me reshare. So yeah, we decide what the name is that we want our home to be called. Um, we have something unique about our home's geography, and then something else that our home is known for. So we got a pretty wide um, choice here. We can't have a one, but a two, a three, and a four are all on the cards. My memory serves.
Hmm.
Any of these that people really like. I mean, I'm partial to some blind prophets at the top of Thousand Steps Ascent,
Oh my
but
gosh.
that's just me. Maybe pottery is the way to go.
Make it really hard. That's funny.
Especially because we didn't take the, mighty Fuse
Yeah,
Godmark.
exactly. That's so funny. We're really proving it there.
I do like the volcano.
Okay. So that means that's for
And then
three.
Trufast would be the name if we did that
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
We happy with that?
Yeah.
You
Works for me.
think? Do you think this the Thousand Steps Ascent is into the volcano? Do you think it is like just one place, or do you think these are different places?
Mm.
I like them together.
Yeah, because maybe the warmth of the volcano, even though it's dormant, maybe that's what keeps the blind prophets like, uh, relatively comfortable. So,
Classic Delphi fumes that probably are
yes,
not entirely
yes.
healthy to breathe.
Right, right, right. Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yep.
But central heating most importantly, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, of
Nice
course.
hot bath.
Yes, absolutely. Hot springs, for sure. I like it.
Okay. So let us pick so off the list. Okay. And again, similarly, there is a space for the image of home um, when we've ruminated enough. Okay. Um, I feel like we do you have any questions based on that? Any, or do we want to pose some questions that about it that we might discover in play? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where we will see more of it in play. Um, because we're gonna be like, I guess developing as we come home. Um, yeah. So this will be interesting. Oh boy.
Do we do we think that there was some prophecy or some utterance of the blind prophets of Mavos that prompted us to, or the goddess to, muster for war? What do we think? Be interested to find that out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We are happy to move on to our company.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, uh, so I guess the most important thing about our company is the captain. So while not as divine as your captain was the human leader that you follow closely. Some Lordsworns have a very intimate relationship with this captain, while others may have only seen them give grand speeches and bumped into them occasionally around camp. Nevertheless, your captain, even in death, defined you as a company. While your god was the divine ideals you followed, your captain represents the mortal values you hold to and that united you all. So again here, so there's two things we do. First is we kind of determine the nature of our captain, and so this is like a personality trait. And again, like we did for a god, there's two tables and four natures on each. So let's do the same thing. If both of you want to roll a d4, we will
Okay.
figure out what our captain was like.
Okay.
I've got a 3.
4.
So that means they were magnificent. Or if we want to reverse those, stern. So a stern leader is a rigorous leader who kept a tight camp and disciplined formations. Their followers are similarly ordered and serene in combat. But a magnificent leader is a beautiful leader whose charisma and eloquence inspire their soldiers. Their followers are similarly graceful and spectacular. We're ready for a magnificent company or the remains of.
Think because we're following Mavos. I mean, I think it makes sense we're if they were cunning and stern, because their followers are similarly crafty and wise. You know, so I feel like we felt our captain was really really representing with being um very tactical and always like feeling like they were like 3 steps ahead, at least 3 steps ahead on the field. So
Yeah,
I
we're
kind
only
of.
rolling one nature though. It's we roll the first one to see which table we use, and the
Oh, okay.
second, yeah. So, or did we feel like cunning was where we wanted to go to? What do you think, T?
So it'd be between cunning and stern, right? Or
Technically, what we rolled, it's stern or magnificent, but
okay.
we can totally cheat.
Hmm. I like stern because then we're starting from these people who are orderly and serene in combat. Uh, what happens when that order is gone, I think, is a interesting thread to follow, right? Because you're starting from serenity, you're not starting from bombast.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess it'd be interesting to see what happens over time as this influence falls away. Does someone step up, or does this kind of does this disintegrate, right? What do you think, Mads? Does that sound?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's interesting because now that we don't have them anymore, it's like I think our company will revert to whatever their baseline is. So we'll see what that looks like.
So then we go back to each rolling a die and then assigning it. These will determine the symbol. Um, it's not clear to me whether these are purely of the captain or of the company or whether they're just synonymous. So we roll a D for each, one for the symbol, one for the colors, and one for the motto.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, I rolled a 3.
Two.
another three. So let me share once more. So we're just looking at this small table here.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
3, 2.
what are we thinking?
I like the motto "Through hardship we ascend."
How about you, T?
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Uh,
It also fits with the volcano, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thousand steps.
Oh God, we're just known for it.
Literally.
We're just really into that. Okay. Yep. All right. So we got that three. One of the threes. Okay.
Someone needs to bring those blind seers their lunches, right?
Yes. That's part of the offering. I mean, like we got to give them
Yeah.
food. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's watchful hound or strong workhorse or blue and teal or white and black.
I kind of like the watchful hound. I think it's
Hmm.
like, you know, watchful, I think is a good one. But, I could live with workhorse, right?
I like the hound.
Yeah. I'm cool with the hound.
Okay. So then black and white and black, whatever is our colors.
White, white and black.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I was really not capable of dealing with heraldic colors being gray and silver. I was just not ready to live with that.
That
Yeah.
just seems
Uh,
so strange. I mean,
it's just wrong. It's just
yeah.
wrong.
Not even contrasting enough. But anyway.
Um, okay. Again, we have space for Captain Image. Poor person. Um, and the toughest part of all, giving them a name. I don't know.
Uh, so the names we've got so far, Mavos, our god, Trufast, our home, Mount Helphi, the volcano. So it's a little bit of a linguistic mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. There are name tables for the Lordsworn, but there aren't any that I saw for the captain. So I don't know.
What's Greek for dog?
Canis or something like some kind of canine. Yeah.
I
Ooh,
think it's
okay. I don't know
Latin.
what this Kyon? I don't know what that vowel's supposed to be. Uh, Kyon?
Uh, Kyon.
Ski.
That sounds pronounced. Uh,
We go with that.
yeah.
We can write in Latin letters and be close enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could also anglicize it a bit and just be like Kyon or Kion.
Yeah. That's fine.
Sounds more Greeky.
Um. Okay. So the next stage is Lordsworn.
Okay.
But I wonder if we should just take our break and then come back and do all of them. No, it's a bit early, but
It's fine. Batch the tasks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's fine.
Okay. Okay, we're back, and it's time to do our Lordsworns. So there are a couple. So let me read. Now is the time to create those who survived the great battles of the Cataclysm, the battered Lordsworns who we'll be playing as. So we're gonna have 3 Lordsworns each. In the playing cards room, there's a deck with just the spades and hearts. Um, so the game suggests we just like deal 3 cards to everyone,
Mhm.
and that's what you get. But I don't know whether there can be some swapping around or bidding or whatever it is. Um, if you really like something, um, I'm happy to see where the fates lie, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like random. It's fine. I can
Same.
play any of these
Okay.
guys. So
So yeah, grab a few cards.
3, right?
Three, yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna let you do that yourselves before I jump in. Let me move this deck.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what I got.
So in the space, you should see there's a section called card, and that should be a drop down of all the cards.
Okay.
Because sometimes I can design a character keeper. Reading is difficult. Making a character keeper is fine. So what you'll notice is those numbers are obviously not real numbers. Those are just there to prove that the lookups are working. Um, so, um, but just above that in the dark section, you'll see that your choice gives you a name of the Lordsworn, not the name, the kind of archetype.
Mhm.
So I drew a grizzled veteran, a flowing water dancer, and a scarred medic. So, I mean, I guess the scarred medic and the grizzled veteran belong together for sure. How about you two?
I have the warm-hearted chef, the noble knight, and the wandering spellblade.
I've got the eccentric engineer, the freshly promoted lieutenant, and the creed guard.
So, uh, what did I say? I said something like when we get to these, there's a big body of text that we should give you a look at, T, given that you don't have the PDF.
I got it.
So, okay.
Yeah, T got it.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
has.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Through the magic of itch.
Okay. I
Itch is
did not miss
great.
that. I just forgot that. Okay, so you see, there's like a bucket of text, and then each of them have, in what is now a familiar pattern, three tables of that you'll roll a d4 on, and again you swap and see what you like. Um, I don't know. How do you want? Do you want to like go through these one by one? What are we thinking?
I mean, I don't mind rolling, rolling for whatever these different things are, and then and then introducing them after we figure it out, or
Yeah.
just choose.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Um, okay. So I guess this will be scintillating
what the hell?
watching.
Oh my god. Oh my god. How the hell did I get all once? Holy crap. Oh my god. Amazing.
Zweihander. Very Greek.
Yeah, it is a pastiche, let's say. Is that a good word? A smorgasbord.
Uh,
Uh,
some places in the US have restaurants that are just like pan-Asian. And I feel like this is just pan-European. Just sort of smush it together.
There's a bit of steampunk in here since I have the eccentric engineer. He's got a
yeah.
steam powered war mall. Okay. Let's see.
With the ones. What is going on?
I know. It's like, what the hell? I have no choices whatsoever. It's great.
really what's driving my choices here is the keepsake.
Mm.
Everything else is, negotiable.
Yeah, so let's see.
Finally, something except ones.
Spades. Let's see.
Somehow I'm resisting the plague doctor's mask.
Hmm.
Am I being uniquely idiotic? Is that what I'm doing?
Mm. I think my guys are the bruisers.
There are name tables, you said?
Oh,
Oh, I see. It's just down at the bottom.
yeah, the very second last page, or the last page with actual content on it.
really trying to find art of a chef with a glaive that's throwing me.
It is a niche occupation, right?
It sure is.
Or all of our other choices going.
I think that's the last thing I need.
I mean, I just need images, but I mean, like, I can do that anytime. So,
You want to do intros? Um, we feel like we want to read out that intro text as well.
good.
Yeah. Well, let me start with my grizzled veteran. I gave them the name Wolfred Coins. Your identity is so closely entwined with the song and dance of mercenary life that you are practically just going through the motions. You fought in countless campaigns, many a success, but more than a few failures too. Through it all, however, you survived. You are a survivor. You know how to live to fight another day, in victory or defeat, having saved others close to you just as often. Still, no amount of war experience could have prepared you for the cataclysm. Your god, so resplendent and beautiful, now an unmoving mountain of a corpse before you. Their army shattered like a glass against the ground. You've withstood cavalry in a spear wall before, seen the sky turn black as night with arrows, and stood stalwart against the crackling of magics of war. Against this new hell, you're questioning whether you can withstand the torrents and horrors that await you now, the haunting memory of this failed campaign, and whether still being alive counts as a blessing or a curse. Um, so their aesthetic feature is a lattice work of age scars and unique armor from the distant northern kingdom you hail from. Their keepsake is a militia badge from your first campaign, a reminder of those comrades who might still live. And their equipment is claymore and a dirk, I guess, which is Scottish for a sword and a dagger. T, do you wanna? And I have a picture for them, so yay. Mm. T, do you
Right?
wanna do it next? Yeah.
Sure. So we've got Hestia Ember, she, her, the warm-hearted chef. You've always been at home with a pot of stew, a stew pot, one might say, boiling over the fire and your hands covered in various flowers or other foodstuffs. You know each and every face in this company because you fed each and every one of them. You've seen their eyes light up when you could find their favorite mushrooms and heard their groans when all you could muster up was gruel or hardtack for the night. Knowing that an army marches on their stomach and wanting to do your part, you joined the host of soldiers that rode under your god's war march. But even your warm heart and good cooking could not burn away the image of a god's death. You weren't on the front lines, but you felt it still, and could even see their impaled corpse from the camp. You know your role hasn't changed. You will feed the survivors, keep them alive, and care for them as you always have. But you question whether your cooking can even begin to feed their broken bodies back to health, to nourish their shattered spirits and morale. And she has a booming, bellyful laugh and intimidatingly large muscles. A secret recipe, a fusion of two distinct cuisines that only she and her lover back home know how to prepare, and a glaive, and no art. Yet.
All right. So, my first guy is, or person, excuse me, is Dendeus Fix, they, them, and they are the eccentric engineer. You were always a tinkerer, never satisfied with how things were, focused rather on how things could be better. You applied yourself to the mechanical arts, delving deep into both its practical and less practical applications. Your studies made you somewhat of an outsider in an otherwise pragmatic field, but you never were daunted, knowing your genius was innovation, not madness. When the gods called their armies, the need for engineers was great. Bridges must be built to cross rivers. Strong and safe encampments would need a proper mind, and you saw your opportunity not only to prove yourself to your compatriots, but to your god. Your mind failed you, though, when your god fell in battle, spiraling into a sort of madness, no longer able to comprehend reality. In this distraught mind, you try over and over to fix it all, to put together the missing pieces, mending broken parts with new ones. You now question what good is an analytical mind in a world with broken and dead gods, as the very laws of reality you thought you knew warp and twist around you. They have well-worn, oil-stained coveralls with dozens of tools hanging off of a belt and soot-covered face and hands, and their keepsake is something that could they consider it where the old world rejected it, but the new world could accept it. It's an invention that could revolutionize the lives of millions, and their equipment is a steam-powered war mall. So, very steampunk.
Yeah. So my next Lordsworn is Trina Dobini, who is the flowing water dancer. You are grace and death in equal measures. Your weapons, the never-ending waves on the beach that carve away the cliffs. Your violence is subtle and assured as the river against the shores, and your movement as soft as falling rain. When the gods marched out to battle, calling upon the myriad forces they could muster, you felt yourself pulled by an undertow of destiny you had never resisted before. Swayed by their cause, you wove both beauty and death across the bloody tapestry of the battlefield, violence an ever-present current along with your blades. Yet, even knowing death like you do, the sight of a god's death silhouetted against an uncaring sky shook you. You were taught early in your training to bend with the hits, flow around them, striking back with momentum. For the first time ever, you question your next steps, truly caught flat-footed, a fool. What are your next steps in a world where even gods fade like the kingdoms of mortals against the uncaring tides? And her aesthetic features are beautifully adorned leather armor with blue flowing sleeves and a pearl inlaid silvery silken veil. Her keepsake is pressed between pages torn from a fighting manual, a delicate blue rose gifted by a lover, and she wields twin wave-crested scimitars.
Uh, Next we have the Noble Knight, Charlotte Dudulau? Dolo? Charlotte D. Uh, You are the paragon of chivalry, having picked up a sword mere moments after you could walk, living and breathing the knightly virtues before you could even run. You have and will always be a knight. Have been, probably, and will always be a knight, protector of the weak, defender of the gods, a beacon of nobility in a world of savagery. When the call rang out to ride to war, none were surprised that you answered it readily and eagerly. Seeing your God in all their glory, your very principles made flesh, the flapping of countless banners, the camaraderie of your fellow soldiers and knights, it felt like your life's culmination. In that moment, you were alive. In the next, your God lay slain, your ears filled with your comrades' death moans, and your ideals were scattered like ash in the wind. Still, many look to you for guidance, for hope, for valor. You question whether you can answer their pleas anymore, be their stable rock and strong arm to protect them after all of this, and when you will finally be able to look to others for a shoulder to lean on. And she is wearing onion-shaped armor that deflects blades, uh, and jibes? I don't actually know how to say that. It's one of those words I've read and not said. Easily, and a jovial, thoughtful voice. She has a protective charm from her childhood friend that they gave her when they were squires. She does not know their fate, but feels they still live, and is wielding a Zweihander.
And we have the freshly promoted lieutenant, Kai Hearthsworn, he, him. You were a lieutenant, closer to your captain than any of your fellow Lordsworns. They all saw the face of competence and leadership. You saw their real face, the anxieties hidden beneath a mask of bravado, the concern etched in those smiling eyes. Those same beautiful eyes you saw drained of life. Your captain struck down like wheat in the field as the cataclysm roared around you. That was your first shattering. The second came as you held your dying captain's limp body, tears streaming, and you heard the death gasp of your own god. On that day, two certainties were ripped from your soul. Everything you had trusted, those you believed would guide you, gone in a moment. Battlefield promotion, though you feel you don't deserve it, made you this company's leader. You rallied the survivors and fled. You question whether you did enough, if you could have saved more, and if you should have stayed. But more than anything, you question how you could fail the one you secretly loved, your captain. He carries the captain's cuirass, slightly too large for his frame, and a voice like drawn steel. And his keepsake is something that he, I think, hides. It's a poorly whittled wooden figure with the words, "For my sibling," carved on into it, and he carries a polearm and a pistol. Sorry, a bastard sword and a horn. Sorry, I was like, trying to figure out what I picked. There we go. So,
And then I have my Scarred Medic. Sorry, let me find my page. I'm busy looking for pictures. Um, you are a tender-hearted soul with that care and love for humanity, both a blessing and a curse. You learned the healing ways first, completing your training only for the trumpets of war to ring out across your home. War scarred you, as any who feels emotions deeply knows, but you understood that nowhere else would you be able to ease the suffering of so many. You steeled your heart as best you could, reminding yourself a healer's role is just as much to save the body as to amputate the infected limb, and marched alongside your god and their Lordsworns. When your god was struck down, bleeding out their precious life into the dirt, you tried to rationalize how you could save them, stitch up their godly flesh, and restore them. Your heart, through all this, shattered into pieces. You fled with cries of pain in your ears, haunting you still. You question how many you could have saved if you weren't a coward then. What good are your healing hands if they shake and spasm with trauma, and whether this world can be mended at all, or if it needs to be amputated to stop the spread of infection. Their name is Zoti Apollon. Their aesthetic features are a once pristinely kept apron, now bloodied, and a bag of surgical and medical tools. Their keepsake is a field guide to herbs and their medical uses, compiled over years of training with your mentor. And their equipment is a falchion and shield. No picture yet. Okay.
Uh, and next we have the Wandering Spellblade. You were always a restless soul, your feet fidgeting if you stood still too long. While others were roots, you were a floating seedling, wandering. An affinity for magic and the sword helped you on these journeys, plying your trade to whoever you could pay, learning from others in both arcane and martial traditions, and truly interweaving the two arts. It was upon these rambles that you saw it, the glorious column of marching Lordsworns behind a god you worshipped, made divine flesh before you. Swept up in this next adventure, you enlisted your spells and blades to their cause. Your adventures have made you familiar with death, but none have struck you so flat-footed as the death of your god. The melancholy, the dread, the existential fear it awakened in you to see such beauty struck down like a common weed. You question what good is your sword arm, your touch of magic, in a world that could just as easily kill a god as a mortal, and wonder if you'll ever be able to finally find a place to call home. And their name is Joralt Chekrov. Aesthetic features are a gilded mask with floral features and long flowing hair kept in a unique style. Keepsake is a favor from a sweetheart awaiting you home, a religious symbol for safe travels. And they wield a blue longsword and a charm focus.
And we have our Creed Guard. Sovan Selen, he, him. You were a bodyguard, duty bound to your god and their high-ranking clergy. A legend skilled in martial prowess, well above any other mortal, and honored with the sacred armaments of your god. Your individual name may not have been known, but all knew of the valor and steadfastness of the Creed Guard. It was then never a question as you joined your god when they gathered their forces. You watched over them like a hawk, keeping guard as they planned tactics with their generals. That proximity also gave you a glimpse few would see, the anxiety and worry that gripped them in the nights. When your god died, pierced by fell weapons as opposing forces broke through your fellow Creed Guards, a fury took over you, striking away those near you so you could be close to them once more. In those fading eyes, you saw forgiveness. But you could never forgive yourself, nor could most of your comrades. You had failed. You question what good is forgiveness and duty if all you feel are guilt and failure. Who could blame you for what happened? Why do you keep blaming yourself? And Sovan's aesthetic features are a deep maroon-colored cape that marks him of an ancient knightly order, and a sanctified prosthetic arm. He keeps a simple favor tied around his arm, beautiful in a simple yet striking way, and it's a gift from his lover. And the piece of equipment that he holds is a startier halberd.
Okay. So, again, I feel like all of these characters will have a history that maybe we will discover when they first hit the road together. There are certainly no suggested questions to start the spark. So the final step of creating our company is to set a difficulty level, therefore determining our company's starting morale. Um, so it suggests that we start at 8, and if we want to play in hard mode, we start at 6. Um, it can never go higher than 8. The company immediately breaks if it hits 0, triggering the epilogue phase. Um, it can increase or decrease during events of the journey home, depending on what dice we assign to it. Um, when morale is high, members of the company feel bound to one another and remain hopeful, but they quickly turn despondent and frantic as morale approaches 0. So I don't know. Do we want to play in, suggested / easy mode?
I mean, suggested mode is probably better because since we've never played this before, I
Yeah.
don't know about hard mode.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think player skill has anything to do with it. I just think it's like, do you really want to
Yeah,
wreck these people?
I mean, like
Um,
speed run wrecking I think that is the clue, right? So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that is that. Somehow I thought this would take longer, but no, I think we are done. Obviously, picking pictures is still the hardest job. Um, well, picking names is usually the hardest job, but there was tables here for that, so that was easy. What do we think? I still think our plan, which is to do like our each week of the journey in each session looks perfectly cromulent. Uh, um, so yeah, I think I think we might leave it there.
Feels like a natural
Yeah,
pausing
yeah,
place.
Yeah. I mean, get them ready to, we see the ragged company getting together and they journey home.
And this is it, right? These nine are the only survivors from this company.
yeah, yeah. It's harsh.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And I think if we go below, I can't remember if we go below three, like if yeah, I can't remember exactly what the rule is for losing. Obviously, if we go uh to zero morale, yeah, if there are less than three total remaining Lordsworns, the company is broken and immediately moves to the epilogue phase. I guess if one of us loses all of our Lordsworn just through, bad luck, you know, we might share those remainder survivors around.
Yeah.
um,
God.
okay. And they drop out by taking 3 wounds.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so, and again, those wounds are applied um, in the resolution tables for the events. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, let me stop the recording and then we'll do a quick debrief.